The deep relaxation offers a foundation that's very empowering that allows you to then produce the changes in your experience at all levels. So you can actually utilize the power or empowerment of deep relaxation as an ally to enhance your ability to make the changes and transform your experience. So they go together. Yeah. So I think another misunderstanding that can come up is, and it's somewhat related, but not exactly. It's similar to the first, but the sense that, well, then nothing really matters. So then why bother with any of the rest of it? I mean, when I know that I'm fine, then I don't really need any of the other stuff. So why bother? I'm not gonna, then I won't pursue any of my goals. And on the one hand, there's some value in that because it will help you to release those things which are not actually yours. So I often talk about the importance of having the ability to discern what are your true desires and those which are borrowed desires. So having deep relaxation allows you greater capacity for that, because when you deeply relax, then it's when you're very deeply relaxed, then you completely let go of everything, at least for one moment. And so in that space, you can recognize that actually fundamentally you don't need anything. And so certainly those desires which are borrowed, in that light, you will find that you can let go of. You can at least identify them so that you can then let go of them. However, there will be some things that will continue to surface, certain desires that, even though from you can authentically, from a perspective of deep relaxation, recognize that you don't actually have any attachment to those, that you don't really need them or really care. Nonetheless, you can start to also discern some of those things will come up in a way that you can recognize that it's actually good and appropriate for you to give some attention and energy to those things and the fulfillment of those things, even if you don't have any real attachment to it. That there's still, and this is kind of tricky to describe. I don't have really clear parameters to be able to distinguish these, but you'll just notice that there are some things which they're for you to show up to in your life. So even though you might, on some level, you might be able to recognize, I don't really have an attachment to these things. I don't really need anything here. But there'll still be some kind of intuitive clarity that it's right and good for you to continue to attend to these things, certain kinds of, maybe your job or some kind of creative project or certain relationships in your life. So again, one of the misunderstandings could be that from this perspective of deep relaxation, you realize, well, I don't have any attachment to any of it. I don't, none of it matters. I don't care at all. If that was really true through and through, then you would you would probably find yourself in a cave or something. But if that doesn't happen, and that's not thoroughly joyful, then actually there's a deeper truth, which is that there's still something for you here to attend to. And so it's good and appropriate for you to attend to those things. I would strongly recommend against imbalanced levels of deep relaxation. Because again, if you recognize the pleasure available in deep relaxation and then you seek refuge there and excessively, then you can experience excessive detachment. But if there's still things that are for you, appropriate for you to attend to in this life, then it's not actually good for you to be excessively detached from them. So better is to have the right balance where you can just joyfully show up for the things in your life. Because honestly, what's the problem with that? When you know that you're free and you know that you're not suffering and you know that you are empowered and you know all these things which are available to you through this deep relaxation, then what's the problem with actually showing up in your life and taking actions and having goals and doing those things? there actually is no problem. So if you perceive that there is a problem, then there's still something to attend to there, just to notice, so that you can clear that up for yourself, because there's no conflict between taking action in this world and deep relaxation. They go together. They complement one another. In fact, the more deeply relaxed you are, the more capacity for action you have in this world. So the paradox, though, is that you don't particularly care. So a lot of the time that's where that's where it gets tricky for people, because if you think, oh, I'm going to use this as a strategy to achieve all of my goals, then you'll be you will find that it doesn't quite work that way. On the other hand, if you think, oh, I'm going to use this to escape from all of my problems, that won't work out for you. It's actually in the right in the middle where you relieve yourself of all the problems. You begin to joyfully express without any attachment, without any need, without any sense that I need things to change in order to be fulfilled. Instead, you know that you already are fulfilled, and you naturally and joyfully express from that, but without any sense that you are going to get anything from that. And that's very different from how most of us are used to operating. But in the meantime, most people are not going to find themselves in those extremes. So I'm just giving those cautionary notes for those few people who tend towards those extremes. So if you do, then just remember those cautionary notes and rein it back in. So don't do these things to the extreme. I really very much believe in a more middle pathway where you can be in this world and you can be taking action in this world, and you can also be knowing yourself and experiencing peace within yourself and joy within yourself without having any attachment to the outcomes. But in order for that to occur, you have to be willing to stay engaged in the world and to also be willing to deeply relax, at least on a daily basis.